I've decided that I'm going to take the plunge and do a video. I've really missed not commenting and not putting posts on over the last few days. I'm still in Facebook sin bin at the moment. Should be out at the weekend. The rescue's getting pretty big. We've had a lot of messages, and over the last few weeks we've actually had a lot of people that's come round and wanting to see all of our animals. So I thought this morning when I was talking to Gaz that when you do get a pet, you want to see where it's come from. You want to see the environment, you want to see how it's been looked after. So I thought I'd do a quick post, not necessarily on our rescues, but on how we look after our animals. So the first two I want to show you are my two special boys. One of my special boys has been a bit of an idiot at the moment. This is Terry. Now, when we got him, he was one we actually went to London for, and he had a extremely bad bacterial infection. We'll be posting some before pics. He has got a lot better, his skin's got a lot better, but unfortunately the scars on his skin are going to be permanent. We did take him to a vet, we spoke to a specialist about him. He was on antibiotics for a while to get rid of the infection, which has gone, but it's caused some neurological problems. Now, he's not usually like this. He's getting a hell of a lot better. 90% of the time, probably even more now, he does spend on the floor, the same as Thor that's next to him. But sometimes he does do silly things like this. Now, I spoke to the vet, and because he has got a good quality of life, he feeds and everything else, and like I say, most of the time he's on the floor, walking about. That's why I've got the stones and the tiles, because if you notice, where his limbs have been obviously munched off, eaten off or whatever, they've grown back not in a very good way at all. Hence why I've got all this around here to help him walk on. So he's alright at the minute, he's not on antibiotics anymore. He does these silly things a few times, but then he'll go back down, so he's absolutely fine. But what I did want to show you, this little fella here is Thor. I'm going to put a picture up of him now. Oh, hang on, not that one. That's my personal collection, but don't tell Gaz. This is the one from him before, when I first got him. So if you can see the state of him, this one was basically an abuse case. Him and two others was in a tank with an owner, can you say an owner, that decided not to feed them because he wanted them to eat each other. So Thor come to us, quite thin, very anemic, hardly any gills, and obviously no limbs. You'll see by the photos. It's took a few months, but he's got there, he's greedy, he likes to bite me a lot when I put worms in. All his limbs have grew back. He's a nice colour, definitely not anemic anymore. So that's them two. Now I'm going to move on to two more. I just want to explain a few of their symptoms and how you sort it out. And this one is Mr. Hardy. You've noticed that I've probably put him on the group a few weeks ago. Now he was in a tank. I've had him for a while actually. He was one of my first. He's lost a bit of weight because of what's been going on with him. But a short explanation is, I found him in the tank. He started to put two of his limbs up on one side, basically. He was floating. He was having problems with keeping himself down on the floor. So I put him in a tub, like you're supposed to when they've got problems like that. And I put the water level really low, but no matter how low I put it, I didn't want to get it to a dangerous level. And he was still floating. He ended up in like a donut position. Some of you know that we've just moved from Scunthorpe to Morton in Marsh, so I had to find an exotic vet straight away. Luckily the first one I rung up knew how to look after axolotls. Now in the morning you can see that Mr. Hardy's a dark wild. Don't want to touch him too much because you're not supposed to, but underneath, like that, look, is a lot lighter. So I noticed in the morning that all underneath his belly and his cloaca was red. Now this is a sign of septicemia. So we got him straight away at the vet, saw a lovely vet in Swindon called Sarah. She did say that he has septicemia. Now septicemia can be gotten from if they've had a fight, if they've got a wound. We've spoke about gravel before and how it impacts them, and you're not supposed to put them on gravel. Don't use it as a substrate. when they actually ingest the gravel, it can actually cut their insides. So this can cause septicemia as well. So this guy was on Baytril. It's a antibiotic. It's actually injectable, but we injected it into a very small bath. Made it as concentrated as possible. He was in it for 7 or 8 days. He's lost the septicemia symptoms now, but he's still a little bit floaty. We're trying to get him back on food. We tried it with a couple of pellets. We're going to take these out. You can't leave pellets in for more than an hour or two because they do foul the water. We're trying him on Dendrobina. He is slowly eating again, but this is one of our boys that's in quarantine. The next one we've got in quarantine at the moment is Big Mama. Now she come in with about another 6 axolotls. They was in a tank with goldfish, so as you can see, this poor lady has got no gills whatsoever. Do not keep your axolotls with fish. She's now got nothing there at all. She's been floating a little bit in her tank, so I've decided to tub her for a little bit. Because she can't get on the floor, obviously she can't get to food. She's had a few pellets today, which is good, same as Mr. Hardy. But again, I'm going to take them out because they foul the water. Even though she's quite big, she's quite a wide girl, she's probably like nearly 10 years old. We don't expect much from her, to be honest. If she eats, she eats. If she doesn't, she doesn't. So can I just say, though, she come in with 6 others that had a very bad fungal infection. Now, my opinion, and it's only my opinion, is that we don't like to use chemicals if we don't have to. So, like I say, she was covered in fungus. Her eyes were covered in this blue gunge. She was in quite a mess, same as the others. We did 5 days worth of tea baths. That's all we did. We didn't use any chemicals whatsoever. 5 days of tea baths, 10 to 15 minutes a day. We put Indian almond leaves in, and within 5 days the fungus was gone, the infection was gone. The other 6 have actually been rehomed, but this one, she might be up for rehoming, she might not, but to be honest, at her age, she probably will stay with us for a little bit longer. So these 2 are 2 of the ones in quarantine at the moment, and now I'm going to show you the axolotls that's actually ours, and I'm going to give you an update on Joey. So this is my female tank. If you've owned axolotls, you know that you keep females and males separately. The main reason for this is breeding. Now, these girls can have probably up to, maximum, about 1,500 eggs. This takes it out of them, the nutrients and everything. It really does. It can damage them massively if they do it over and over again. So please don't keep males with females. This is my separate tank. So we've got Merlot, who's these lovely wild here. She was proper green when she was a baby. She's now lovely and dark wild. We've got Scarlet that's behind her. She's the Starburst. And I've got my lovely blue-gilled Asti. She was one of my first. I'm not going to tell the others, but she's probably one of my favourites. So these tanks, they're 4 foot. It's got 3 axolotls in them. And they get a water change of about 30-40% once a week, once every 8 or 9 days. The things with axolotls, as you know, they are extremely messy. So you do need to pick up the stuff that you've got in there and clean up their poo. It does come out in lovely round balls, but as you know, they swim through it, they run through it, and the bloody stuff ends up everywhere. Now with axolotls, to keep them healthy, you need to keep the water clean. So as well as a cycled tank, as well as what we use, Seasham Prime, to treat the water for the ammonia, you do need to clean up, spot clean your tanks. Keep that water healthy and you will keep your axolotls healthy. Keep them between 16 to 18 degrees, because even a fraction above that, you might end up with fungus problems, which everybody does, I think, at some point. It's quite easy to treat. But especially in the summer or if you're in hot areas, keep them temperatures down. Keep it to 16, 18 degrees C. Now the male tank. Right, so this is my boy's tank. I wanted to show you Stumpy first. He was our very first rescue. Again, in with goldfish. You can see he's not got his gills. Unfortunately, they never grew back. In tanks like this, these are my axolotls. They're not rescues. They will not go anywhere. We like to have 1 hide each. The hides are not just for keeping away the light. As you know, axolotls don't have eyelids. We only have our lights on during the night as well. We're going to keep them on for a few hours. You know, it's not about you, it's about them. We like to see them for a few hours, but that is it, then the lights go off. Now this one is the one I wanted to show you. This one's Joey. Now I will be putting a picture up of this little guy for you from when we first got him, not long ago. And as you can see from the pictures, well, it was a mess. Basically, this one has been kept as a fish. He was on gravel and he was being fed fish food. But as you know, the main diet of axolotls is dendrobrina, earthworms. You can also get some fantastic pellets, salmon pellets as well. And then treats on top of that, you can have your bloodworm. What I've got in there for tonight, I've got some defrosted prawns that are raw, that have been frozen, because it says on the bag, for over a month. This is to get rid of parasites. You can chop them up into little chunks and feed them. But yeah, Joey's doing absolutely fantastic. I'm going to put some pictures on, because this one in the middle here is Champers. He's one of my first from a pet shop. So that's another quick thing I want to talk about to you as well, is pet shops. Now, I'm not saying all of them, because we have met some that do the best for their animals and they're not just about money. But a lot of them unfortunately are. They don't know much about axolotls. We actually had a case the other day where we was rehoming two, and the lady messaged me and she told me what water treatment she was using. Now, this certain pet shop had said to use this because it was the best one for axolotls. Now, it actually contained aloe vera. Now, aloe vera and iodine are the two ingredients that you do not want in any water treatment. So this Champers, like I said, he was from a pet shop. Gaz's opinion differs a little bit from mine. Mine is that I want to rescue him and take him home and get him better. Gaz's opinion, which he's right, is that if you take them, they're just going to fill the hole with another one. Now, all this video was really about is that I wanted to show you my axolotls. I wanted to show you the ones that I got better. I wanted to show you the ones that were still getting better. Like I say, chemicals, in my opinion, should be a last resort. I like to use tea baths, I like to use Indian almond leaves, and I like to use, last resort is methylene blue, but you have to be very careful of the dosage. Hi, right, that was my little video that I've been probably planning for the last 3 or 4 days to do and absolutely cracking myself about. But it's over now, and by the time I've finished this message, it's probably out there on YouTube and everywhere else. Like I say, you know, these are just our opinions. These are how we look after our axolotls. I love taking poorly ones in. We love getting them better.
And end up keeping most of them.
And we end up keeping most of them. Not most of them. I think we've probably rehomed over the last 4 or 5 months about 100 axolotls at least. Yeah. Which I'm actually really, really proud about. I never thought we would be doing anything like this, but we have. Now we're enjoying it, and
it's getting busier and busier.
It's getting busier and busier.
Which in a way is a bad thing.
Yeah, only because I get stressed out having a go at you.
Well, it's bad that so many's coming to rescue, but...
Oh no, it is bad that somebody's coming to rescue.
But it's good that people know there's a place they can turn to for help.
Our little plan, our dream anyway, if it actually happens, is that, you know, we're not going to turn a charity or anything, or, you know, nothing like that. We do it we don't take donations apart from when we rehome them. We do it because we want to do it. What we really want to do, where we actually live now, there's nothing sort of reptile-wise, amphibian-wise, I would say arachnids, but I'm never going to let him have a spider. So we want to open our own little unit somewhere, but it's going to be maybe house the axolotls there if it's cold enough. We want to have our reptiles there. We want to do children's parties. We've got a really good thing coming up in Evesham. We've actually been asked by a pet shop to take our snakes, axolotls, whether we can figure it out. That's the planning anyway. It's all in planning and that at the minute. And it's basically going to be a donation day where people can come, and the main thing is that people are going to ask, we're going to give our opinions, we want to do care sheets, and we want to tell people how to, the basics of looking after them, so we can have a few less in rescue instead of looking after so many that's not been looked after properly. So that's our plan, that's our dream. This is the end of the message. We're probably going to do hopefully a video every week, maybe every 2 weeks. So please watch, subscribe, and leave any comments of what we could do better, including my hair obviously, because I've been for a bath. Do apologise, look a mess. So good night from me, from Gaz, from the Axolotls, from the kids, and from everybody else we've got here. Good night.
Bye bye.